Are you a parent seeking answers to concerns about breastfeeding, colic, sleep disturbances, and ear infections in your infant? Does the world of chiropractic care hold the key? I'm Dr. Grant Lisetor, and today we'll dive deep into how chiropractic care can potentially address these common infant challenges. We'll dig in and get started in 10 seconds. Let's go. Hi, I'm Dr. Grant. Let's get started with your greater life right now. Today we're tackling a topic that is near and dear to my heart, the health and well-being of infants. In our discussion today, we will focus on the role of chiropractic care in this critical developmental stage. But before we do, it's crucial to understand why infants need chiropractic care in the first place. The birth process is both a miraculous and physically demanding experience for mom and baby. The transition from the womb to the outside world can exert a considerable amount of pressure on the baby's spine and nervous system. Let's consider the journey that a baby undertakes during birth. As they are pushed by mom and pulled by the doctor or the delivery nurse, they undergo a significant amount of strain, particularly on the head, neck, and upper back. This commonly causes spinal misalignments that will create neurological tension. We refer to this as a vertebral subluxation complex, or a subluxation for short. Modern obstetrics have complicated our birth outcomes for mom and baby, and ultimately have turned pregnancy into a medical diagnosis. While many will argue that modern obstetrics have saved lives, which is hard to disagree with, in the US, we have the worst maternal outcomes out of the entire industrialized world. The highest rate of SIDS, or sudden infant death syndrome, and the most expensive obstetrical delivery process in the entire world. If that's not frustrating enough, the World Health Organization says C-section rates should average between 10 and 15% worldwide. In the US, we're averaging right now at 1 in 3 deliveries that end in C-section. There's absolutely a time and place for a C-section, but it should be a last resort. The use of Pitocin is the most common reason for an unplanned C-section. This drug will create an abnormally long and strong contraction of the uterus that can lead to compression of the baby's chest. The heart rate will drop, and the emergency C-section is performed. Pitocin is the artificial version of the love hormone oxytocin made in the brain. If we introduce an artificial hormone into the body's gonna make less of that hormone. And this is why the use of Pitocin is associated with increased rates and severity of postpartum depression for mom. There are a lot of health benefits that a baby gets from a vaginal birth that are completely missed out on if it's born through a C-section. In fact, adult stool samples can be taken to determine if you were born through C-section. Exposure to mom's vaginal flora during that birth process will have a lifelong impact on gut flora and the immune system. In a study recently published in the Journal of the Neurobiology of Stress, the study concluded that adults that were born through C-section have an altered stress response because of altered gut flora. None of this, by the way, none of this is said to shame mothers that have had C-sections. There is absolutely a time and place for it. So regardless of what avenue baby takes to get out of the womb, it's a tumultuous one. My wife gave birth at home, doing a home water birth, and it was an incredible experience. But both of my boys had subluxations after that birth process, after my wife did her absolute best to keep it as gentle on them as possible. Ultimately, when a baby makes its grand appearance after this traumatic birth process, parents are in the driver's seat. They get to decide if they want to be proactive with their child's health or reactive, waiting for symptoms to appear and be treated. And upon hearing this, you might be thinking, of course I want to be proactive, right? No parent wants to be reactive. They want the best thing for their kids. But besides keeping this brand new little baby alive, what can be done proactively for its health? Well, during the first 24 months of life, this baby's brain increases by 240%. During this wildfire of neurological growth, there are really important developmental milestones and reflexes that need to integrate to allow for higher levels of neurological and cognitive development. From my lens, when I see a missed or delayed milestone, a retained primitive reflex, or other abnormal movement pattern, it's paramount to get a pediatric chiropractor in this child's corner. Chiropractors can help to rewire the infant brain to hit milestones, get primitive reflexes to integrate, and correct abnormal movement patterns. The older the child gets, the more limitation there is. This is why I believe it's more important for infants and kids to be under regular chiropractic care than adults. Chiropractic care has been shown to help with nursing difficulties, constipation, ear infections, colic, infantile reflux, failure to thrive, plagiocephaly, torticollis, and other health concerns that are unfortunately common during infancy. If your aim is to get ahead of this and truly be proactive with your child's health, I highly recommend a well check with a pediatric chiropractor as soon as possible after birth, I should say, right? And here's why. The nervous system is the body's communication highway. It begins developing in the 3rd week of pregnancy and continues to do so all the way into adulthood. The spinal cord is a crucial part of the system and is housed within the spine. So any misalignment in the spine can impact the function of the nervous system. This is why even seemingly insignificant spinal subluxations or misalignments that commonly result from the birth process can lead to various health concerns if left uncorrected. Ultimately, time is the key variable here. The longer an issue is left uncorrected, the worse it will get with time. Chiropractic care aims to ensure that the baby's nervous system functions without impediment by addressing spinal subluxations. Well-trained pediatric chiropractors can apply incredibly gentle and targeted adjustments to correct these subluxations, allowing your baby's nervous system to operate at its best. The pressure it takes to adjust an infant is the same amount of pressure you can comfortably place on your closed eyelid. Pediatric chiropractic care allows the body to better adapt to life outside of the womb, setting the foundation for a healthier infancy and beyond. I personally have 2 boys, and they received their first chiropractic adjustment from me the day they were born for this exact reason. But how does chiropractic care assist with common challenges like breastfeeding, colic, sleep disturbances, and ear infections? Let's dive deeper into each one of those areas. Let's begin with breastfeeding, a beautiful and natural process that sometimes comes with hoops and hurdles. Breast milk is like liquid gold, but issues like latching, favoring one side, or an inability to turn the head fully can impact the baby's ability to consume this liquid gold. These nursing issues all point to potential subluxations in your baby's spine or neck. Chiropractic care for infants can improve the baby's latch, head movement, making nursing easier for mom and baby. Colic is a word that sends shivers down the spine of new parents. We often say a colicky baby turns into a colicky parent. And colic is when the baby is crying nonstop for hours. It can be overwhelming to see your little one in distress without a clear understanding of what's causing it or how to help them. While there's no universal agreement in the medical community about the specific cause of colic, the most common theory is that colic is a result of gastrointestinal distress. This can often tie into constipation as well. When we adjust infants, there is a technique we'll use called Logan Basic. We refer to this as the poop button adjustment. And the reason why is because we'll have babies come to our office that are colicky, constipated, and we adjust them, and they will have these massive blowouts before they leave our office. And we're talking poop up the back to the back of the skull and the hair. I mean, it's impressive. Many parents have reported complete resolution in colicky infants following chiropractic care. Sleep disturbances are another challenge faced by many new parents. Sleep is vital for the baby's growth and development, and while sleep regression is normal during certain periods of growth, if the baby has a heightened stress response, it can disrupt their normal sleep pattern. Regular chiropractic checkups can help identify and address these issues, fostering more peaceful and restorative sleep. And let's not forget, a well-rested baby also means a well-rested parent, usually mom, right? Our discussion today would not be complete without talking about ear infections. This is a common issue during infancy, and infants' eustachian tubes, when they're born, are pretty much parallel to the ground. And as we age, they begin to tilt more downward, allowing for natural drainage. But if C1, the top bone in the neck, if it subluxates, it can create a direct irritation and pressure on that eustachian tube. And like stagnant water, it's gonna trap it and it will eventually grow bacteria. If the infant takes antibiotics, it will kill the bacteria, but it will eventually regrow, which is why we end up with chronic ear infections. Eventually, tubes are recommended where the eardrum is artificially punctured to allow for drainage. If the C1 subluxation is corrected by a pediatric chiropractor, it will not only improve neurological adaptation, but also allow for natural drainage of those eustachian tubes. It's important to highlight that when administered by a trained and experienced chiropractor, these adjustments are safe and gentle. It's vital to work with a chiropractor who has the advanced training and background in pediatrics and understands the unique needs and nuances of this age group. Finding a chiropractor that you can entrust the health of your new baby to is a really tall order. I found that the best way to find a trained and certified chiropractor is by visiting ICPA4kids.org. We have that link below in the description. When you go to the site, there's a link that says Find a Chiropractor. Click on that link and you can see the certifications chiropractors in your area have and the distance they are from where you live. To wrap up, integrating pediatric chiropractic care into your child's healthcare routine can offer multiple benefits. It sets the foundation for their health and well-being, helping them grow into happy and healthy adults. I hope this has illuminated the benefits of chiropractic care for common infancy issues. At Great Life Chiropractic, we're here to support you and your family on this remarkable journey of parenthood. If you enjoyed this, please like this video and subscribe to our page to stay up to date on our ever-growing content. Until next time, keep living your greater life.